before I went to the White House. I had to resign as precinct chairman, precinct 331, so which was a lot of fun to do. Not resign, do it. So. Look, we have to keep in the fight, and the object ought not to be to go from 24 to a majority. It ought to be to go from 24 to 26, and then 26 to 8 to 30, and then 30 to 35, and so on. And the way to do that is to make the case to people and talk with them plainly about what we stand for and find out where they are and see if there's some common ground. And we lose the argument a lot of times, particularly in big cities and in minority communities, because we don't bother to make the argument, and we need to make the argument. There was a really interesting study done a couple years ago by a very weird guy from Kansas City who was really focused on Republican outreach to the African American community. He has since died at a very early age of heart disease, but he did a very interesting study of the 2000 election. He said, let's assume everybody in Kansas City watched television the same amount of time. So they saw roughly, because Missouri was a battleground state in 2000, they saw roughly the same amount of television advertising for Gore and for Bush, Republicans and Democrats, because both of them had roughly equivalent amounts of money. He said, let's assume everybody read the Kansas City Star, so we got roughly the same information flow from there. But he said, what about radio? Because radio is highly targeted. If you are listening to country and western, you're a redneck. If you're listening to urban format, you're largely African American. So he looked at the stations that had largely African American listening populations and added up the number of spots devoted to pushing Gore, pushing the Democrats, bashing Bush, bashing Republicans, and those on the other side of the equation. 16,000 Democrat ads to 6 for the Republicans. And I don't mean 6,000, I mean 6. And his point was, how could we win in the African American community in the greater Kansas City area if we weren't willing to make the argument in the community? Because it's not only radio, it's, do we campaign there? Do we have, do we have precinct chairmen? Do we have people who are trying to reach out? Do we have activity? Do candidates make themselves present in the Latino community, the Asian American community, the blue collar community? It just, we got to do it.
There's no effort being made here, is what I'm telling you.
Well, it got to be.
I think there's a gold mine.
Yeah, got to be.
Voters.
And I got to tell you, in the last election, I may have the county wrong. Middlesex voted Democrat, blue collar, voted for Christie, and provides a huge part of his winning majority. And that is an indication of, and you know what? They targeted. They had a sense that he could. The local Republican organization was smart enough to say, we want you to come and campaign in the community, and we're organized to try and tap into this. I mean, it's like this county here. I mean, I knew Bob Kennedy when he was county executive. And something happened, and we lost that. But here was a traditionally Democrat county that responded to what Florio had done, and the Republicans had a pretty good run of it. But,
Bless you.
a little something in the air. We got to do it. Yeah, one last one. You better be a good one, and then I'm out of here.